Hi, this is Political News in 5, and today is December 18th, 2022. I'm Aisha Osori, and I'm starting with INEC and the attacks on its offices. Last week, the election management body raised an alarm about the incessant attacks on its offices, pointing out that it's going to hamper its ability to conduct the elections next year. Now, between 2019 and 2022, we've had at least 50 attacks on INEC's offices, the worst period being 2020. So it seems like the attacks are decreasing, which is good. However, there was an attack as early as last week, and it's crazy that while the security forces can hound and track activists and students across the country for yabbing the first lady or speaking their truth about governors, they find it hard to stop the perpetrators of these attacks. Now, we know that at least two things are going to be implicated by these disruptions and attacks on INEC's office. One is PVC collection. We have barely a month to go. PVC collection closes January 22nd. It's going to be hard to find temporary staff who feel safe and secure enough to do the work of distributing these cards or giving out these cards. And second, if INEC doesn't have bases from which to distribute election material on election day, we could also see some impact on the logistics. Let's hope that this is sorted soon. The second thing I'd like to talk about is the war of words between Arise/This Day, the media platform, and the Tinubu campaign. Last week we had a war of words with accusations flying around, including restrictions on freedom of speech. And what started this whole thing? It's a mix of different things. There's several triggers, including this day's coverage of the allegations around Tinubu's murky past in Chicago and somebody who apparently died or did not die. And there's also, of course, Tinubu's refusal to honor any of the invitations of the media platforms to debate or to dialogue, including those of this day. Now, when the dust settles and all the dirty linen has been aired, much to our entertainment, what we should distill from this is one, the importance of a free and independent media to a healthy democracy. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, lots of media platforms are compromised. They're partisan. They're known to be either arms of political parties or at least affiliated with politicians. The second is that while the internet has democratized voice, we found it even harder to be able to verify information, and there's lots of dis and misinformation out there. Every day there's a new platform, and one has to be really careful about verifying the news before spreading it or believing it. And then third, obviously, is this conversation or this war of words, if you want to call it that, also a reminder of APC's track record with the media over the last 8 years, which has been terrible, including NBC's attempt to muzzle speech, which thankfully our courts shut down, and the suspension of Twitter. Now, the final thing I'd like to talk about this week is policy, politics, and progress. Now, news from Nigeria is rarely encouraging, but the last week and a half have been particularly sad. Along with allegations that 10 billion naira have been stolen from Kogi State by a nephew of the current governor, there's also the National Bureau of Statistics telling us that 133 million Nigerians are right now in multidimensional poverty. And there's a link between that situation and the incessant theft of public funds, particularly local government funds, which General Muhammad Buhari, apparently 6 months to his tenure ending, suddenly realizes a problem he wants to do something about. Over the last 25 years, local governments have received 25 trillion naira. Where does that money go? It's definitely not to schools, definitely not to hospitals, not to public services. The governors, local government councils are responsible, and this is another reason why we should care more than who is going to be president. We need to care who is going to be all of the governors, all of the legislators on the state and federal level, and indeed even who is appointed. And so in our Who is Running in Your State series, I'm going to share 4 people who are running from Akwa Ibom. Now, the first is Labour. Labour is Okon Uko Esen, an architect, and I only know that not because there's any information about him on the internet, but because there's a poster with the words ARC before his name. Now, for APC, there's no candidate yet. The matter is still in court, fingers crossed. And for PDP, we have Eno Umobasi, a pastor and businessman. Some will say the two are the same, and a former commissioner of land and water for Akwa Ibom. He has a longer track record, and you can find stuff about him on the internet, including some controversy about his business ethics and how he treats his employees. Finally, the candidate for NNPP is Akpan Udodehe, formerly of PDP. He's been a dyed-in-the-wool government person, local government, first elected to the Senate in 1999, and has been trying to be governor of Akwa Ibom since 2011. So choose your pick wisely. That's it for me this week on Political News in 5. Please go get your PVC if you don't have it yet. You have until January 22nd to do so. Have a great week ahead as you prepare for Christmas. Take care. Have a good one. Bye.